Welcome to this bonus episode. Thank you so much for tuning in. The reason that I am recording this bonus episode is to let you know that enrollment for my signature program, the Art of Speaking Up Academy, is officially opening from Monday, March 10th through Monday, March 17th. And I wanted to record this bonus episode, number one, to announce that applications are open and now is the time for you to get your application in to join us in the next cohort. And number two, to tell you more about the program and how it can support you in building deep, lasting confidence and elevating your communication to be at a leadership level. And I also wanted to take you on a bit of a tour through the program curriculum, and I want to answer some commonly asked questions that I get about the Art of Speaking Up Academy. So if you've been curious about working with me, if you've been thinking about the Art of Speaking Up Academy, wondering if it's the right program for you, this bonus episode is going to dive deep into what you can expect from that program and whether it's the right fit for you and your goals. So let me just quickly get the application logistics out of the way. March 10th through March 17th are the dates where you can apply to join us in the upcoming cohorts. You will be applying to join us in either the May cohort or the September cohort. You might be thinking, Jess, that's a little bit far away. It's only March. One thing that's important to note is that the Art of Speaking Up Academy cohorts very often will fill up or sell out a couple months before the cohort even starts. So the absolute best way to get a spot in the cohort of your preference is to plan ahead and think ahead and enroll in advance. The May cohort kicks off in the end of May. It meets on Tuesdays at 4 p.m. Pacific time, and the September cohort kicks off in the end of September, and it meets on Wednesdays at 4 p.m. Pacific time. There is a cohort starting this month. In March, it meets Thursday mornings at 10:30 a.m. Pacific time. It is currently sold out, but it is waitlisted. So when you apply for the Art of Speaking Up Academy, if you are interested in starting sooner, you can let me know on your application, and if a spot opens up for the March cohort, I will invite you in to join us and get started sooner. Okay, so what is the Art of Speaking Up Academy? Who is it for, and how can it help you? The Art of Speaking Up Academy is my signature program, and it's the main way that I support my clients. It is a small group program led by me and facilitated live by me every single week. And the goal of the Art of Speaking Up Academy is twofold. Number one, to help you build lasting, authentic self-confidence. And number two, to help you develop the voice, communication style, and executive presence of a highly powerful, admired leader. I want you to feel really confident on the inside, and I want you to sound really polished and confident on the outside. So in the Art of Speaking Up Academy, we work on both the inside and the outside. We work on the inside, where I help you build genuine confidence so that instead of constantly second-guessing yourself and doubting whether you're smart enough and wondering if you're as good as the other people in the room, instead of having all of those negative thoughts, you feel solid about who you are and what you bring to the table. And we also work on the outside, because as you grow your confidence and as you start to feel like you belong in the room and like you have what it takes to lead, you have what it takes to be a powerful voice in the room, you're going to start speaking up more. You're going to start taking up more space. And I want to equip you with the tools that you need to be super effective when you do that. So in the Art of Speaking Up Academy, in addition to helping you develop your confidence, I also help you develop your communication skills and your executive presence so that when you communicate, when you lead meetings, when you share information at work, when you talk to your manager, when you present to leaders, you know how to be highly persuasive and polished when you speak. So that is the goal of the Art of Speaking Up Academy. Number one, to help you build that lasting, authentic confidence. And number two, to help you elevate your voice, your executive presence, and your communication style to a very sophisticated level. And both of the pieces that we work on, both the confidence and the communication skills, are going to help you have a bigger impact in your role. Because if you want to lead at a higher level, if you want to show people that you are capable of being a thought leader and you are capable of having a bigger impact, you have to have the inner confidence to take up way more space, which I'm going to help you with. And also, you have to learn how to communicate in a way that impresses people. When you're able to impress an executive audience and you're able to impress your boss, you're able to get more done in the room. You're able to get buy-in. You're able to move your projects forward with greater ease. And not only that, but when you know how to communicate effectively and persuasively, it really helps enhance your reputation as a leader, because people are judging you and evaluating you based on how you communicate. The leaders at your company and the higher up people at your company, they don't see you in the day-to-day. They don't see how hard you are working day-to-day. What they see is the FaceTime and interaction they get with you in meetings, which means that you want to be as powerful and confident and polished as you possibly can, because those meetings and those interactions are the way that they are getting to know you. This is why our communication skill is as important as the actual work that we do, because the most senior level stakeholders in an organization rarely see the actual work. What they see is how we communicate the work. And that is how they form their impression of us. And I don't want that to stress you out. You can learn how to communicate your work very powerfully and effectively. And you can learn how to cultivate the confidence that you need to represent your work in a strong and compelling way. And that is what I'm going to teach you in the Art of Speaking Up Academy. So the Art of Speaking Up Academy is for you if you feel like there is more potential inside you that you want to tap into, but you haven't figured out how to get past the self-doubt and second guessing. It's almost like there's more in you, but it's feeling blocked, and you're ready to do the work to connect with that deeper potential that you have inside you. And you really want to learn to speak like a leader. You want to have the tools and the skills and the capabilities to represent your work in a polished and persuasive way, to handle hard conversations, and to really show up as a leader in the room. Now, one of my favorite things about the Art of Speaking Up Academy is that it's a curriculum-based program. And I want to take you through the curriculum to give you a sense of what you're going to learn and experience inside the program. So it is a 4-part curriculum. Part 1 is confidence. Part 2 is executive presence. Part 3 is executive communication. And part 4 is assertiveness. And something that is really nice about having a curriculum-based program is that you get to lean back and let me guide you through it. So rather than you trying to piece together various resources and mini trainings and podcast episodes to try to figure out how you can accomplish your goal of having that genuinely confident voice, I'm going to guide you step by step through a process that has now been tried and true and tested. I have run the Art of Speaking Up Academy 10 times, and I'm going to guide you through the process that I have developed and iterated on and improved to help you achieve your goal in a way that is efficient and productive. A big experience that my clients have when they come into this program is that they feel like they are finally ending the pattern of going in circles, and they are finally making headway and making progress. And a big reason for this is because they finally have a process that was designed and tested by an expert. So the first piece that we look at in the Art of Speaking Up Academy is confidence. This is foundational, because if you don't feel strong and solid inside, it's really difficult to make a powerful impression when you communicate and when you're taking up space in the room. And a lot of people think about confidence as something that is just static. We think that we can grow our skills and we can learn intellectual skills and communication skills. But for some reason, a lot of times in our minds, we don't think that confidence is something that we can work on and grow. It's like we put it in a separate category and we think to ourselves, I can grow my communication skills and I can learn this tool and that tool. But my confidence, that's just who I am. That's just my personality. That's not something I can work on and develop. And I believe that it's the very opposite. And I have seen time and time again through my own transformation and the transformation that my clients have had inside the Art of Speaking Up Academy, that confidence is something that we can work on and build just like we would work on and build any other skill. And in the Art of Speaking Up Academy, I walk you through my signature process for building deep, authentic confidence. And I do want to make it really clear so that the right people come into the program that my approach to building confidence is the real deal, which means that it's not just about surface level positive affirmations and surface level advice like fake it till you make it. You're going to be doing the real deep inner work to learn how to overcome your self-doubt, how to overcome the negative thoughts that you have about yourself, how to navigate challenging emotions. So I consider the confidence work that we do in the academy to be deep work. And if you look at the landscape of different professional development programs out there, the Art of Speaking Up Academy is probably one of the programs out there that has the strongest orientation towards deeper internal work and internal transformation, which means that this program is a really great fit for you if you want to do actual, real work to strengthen your relationship with yourself and to feel strong and unstoppable inside. And it also means that it is not the right program for you if you are just wanting to learn basic tools and if you are not really up for doing that inner work. Now, I personally am obsessed with doing the inner work because in my own journey of finding my voice and finding my confidence and achieving the success I wanted in my career, I really only started to make progress when I found coaches and programs and resources that were supporting me at a deeper level. I went in a lot of circles in my corporate career, trying to feel more confident, trying to shed the imposter syndrome, trying to have a stronger voice in the room. And I kept banging my head against the wall, going to workshops and trainings and feeling like the advice wasn't the right advice for me. It was too surface level. It wasn't speaking to the real challenges that I was experiencing. And I only started experiencing actual meaningful growth when I began to do work that went beneath the surface. And I began to examine my own negative thoughts, my relationship with myself, my self-esteem, my relationship with uncomfortable emotions. And as I looked at those things, I was able to work through so many of the obstacles that were preventing me from feeling confident. And I was able to develop a genuine sense of self-confidence. And I really started to feel unstoppable in my corporate career. And I finally started getting promoted. I finally started getting recognized. I finally got out of the pattern of just being stuck and not being on track for a promotion and not being noticed and falling towards the middle of the pack. And because that inner transformational work on confidence was so profoundly powerful for me, I dedicate an entire 2 months of the Art of Speaking Up Academy to helping you grow your self-confidence and helping you learn to feel genuinely unstoppable inside. After we've completed the confidence portion of the Art of Speaking Up Academy, we then move into enhancing your communication skills. Modules 2 and 3 of the Art of Speaking Up Academy are executive presence and executive communication. Executive presence is the energy that you exude when you speak. I'm sure that you've noticed that when you're in a room, 2 people can say the same thing, but if one of them says it with more authority and more of a vibe of confidence and leadership, that person will be listened to more closely and taken more seriously. In the Art of Speaking Up Academy, I'm going to help you find that authority and that leadership presence in your voice Not only am I going to teach you how to do that, but you're going to get to practice doing that. Because what I have learned throughout my career is that we don't develop executive presence by thinking about it and learning about it intellectually. We develop it by doing it and practicing it. So inside the program, not only are you going to learn executive presence, but you are going to practice executive presence. And when you practice and you watch yourself growing, succeeding, getting better, getting support and encouragement from me and the women in your cohort, that is going to fuel your confidence and help it grow even more. And that confidence is going to continue to fuel your executive presence. I want your voice to sound confident because you genuinely feel more confident inside. And a big part of the work that we do is helping you grow your confidence and your executive presence in tandem so that that powerful presence that you bring to the room when you speak is fueled by authentic self-confidence. After we've learned executive presence, we're going to move into module 3, which is executive communication. This is where you're going to learn how to package and present your work and your ideas in a way that is highly professional, highly polished, highly persuasive, and in a way that positions you as a leader. This is super important. When you are in a corporate environment and when you are starting to reach for higher levels of leadership, it's very difficult to distinguish yourself and develop a reputation as a leader based on hard work alone. And one of the reasons that it's difficult to do this is because leadership at your company usually doesn't see your actual work. What they see is you talking about your work, presenting your work, explaining your work. The actual day-to-day work is not something that they're going to get a deep level of exposure to, which means that it is so important for you to know how to package your work and speak about your work super effectively in front of an executive audience so that when you are talking about the work that you're doing, they are thinking in their minds, wow, she knows what she's doing. She's highly capable. I trust her. I want to retain her. I want to keep her around. In the Art of Speaking Up Academy, I'm going to teach you beginner-friendly frameworks that you are going to practice and master. And these frameworks will help you present your work and share information in a way that makes that powerful impression on even the most experienced executive audience. When I was in my corporate career, I reached an executive level and I spent a ton of time throughout my entire corporate career in rooms with highly experienced executives. Even at the very beginning of my corporate career, when I worked at McKinsey, before I started working in-house, doing in-house strategy work at big consumer companies, even when I was at McKinsey just starting out, I was often in the room with the highest levels of leadership in very large companies. And I learned very, very quickly how you speak to a CEO, how you speak to a C-suite, how you speak to someone who has a lot of experience. And a lot of people think that doing that is very difficult and it requires you to have a natural gift for really solid verbal communication. And what I'm going to do in the Art of Speaking Up Academy is I'm going to debunk that and make it very simple for you. I teach executive communication in a way that is easy because the truth is good executive communication is simple and it feels very streamlined and polished. So it's not about you speaking in a way that's complicated. It's not about you using like fancy corporate jargon and trying to like sound really smart. It's about you learning how to simplify what you're sharing and learning how to make just a couple of tweaks to package your communication in a way that is going to land really effectively with an executive audience. That is module 3 of the curriculum. And the final module of the curriculum is all about assertiveness. If you want to cultivate a reputation as a leader, and if you want to be able to handle bigger things as you advance in your career, you have to know how to communicate in rooms and situations where people are disagreeing, where you do have to be a bit more forward, a bit more direct, a bit more assertive. But I teach assertiveness in a way that is not domineering. I'm not going to teach you how to talk over people. I'm not going to teach you how to show up aggressively. That is not how I approach assertiveness. I approach assertiveness from the angle of you finding a way to be authentically passionate about the ideas that you are bringing to the table. You can be very strong and very committed to your ideas without being rude or aggressive or pushy. And in Module 4, the final module of the curriculum, I'm going to teach you how to do that. So by the end of the program, you will have tools in your tool belt to help you feel confident, to help you have a strong, authoritative presence when you speak, to help you speak about your work and package your ideas in a way that will impress an executive audience, and to help you be assertive while still being true to you and your personality. These tools are going to help you feel more prepared, more ready, and more like you are able to tap into and demonstrate your full potential as a leader. The Art of Speaking Up Academy is a live program in small cohorts, and I lead our weekly sessions live. So this isn't a self-paced, learn on your own type of experience. You're not going to be inundated and overwhelmed with information. Each week, you're going to show up to our sessions, and I'm going to guide you and your cohort through one simple step-by-step lesson at a time to equip you with all of the skills that I've talked about. Now, the live sessions are really at the core of this program, and they're probably my favorite part of the program, but I want you to feel extra supported, which is why I include a lot of resources inside the program to help ensure your success. Now, if you want to see all of the details of everything you get in the Art of Speaking Up Academy, click the link in the show notes, go to jessguzik.coaching.com/academy, and you will see all of this laid out in detail. But to give you a quick overview and help you understand the depth of the resources that you're going to get, I want to walk you through it briefly. So in addition to the live sessions that are led by me, you're also going to get the official Academy curriculum materials, and you will have access to these materials for life, even after the program is finished. You're going to get the Art of Speaking Up Academy private podcast. This is a podcast that is only available if you are a student of the Art of Speaking Up Academy, and it includes the entire Art of Speaking Up Academy curriculum in audio podcast form so that you can listen and learn on the go. You're also going to get the Art of Speaking Up Academy official program workbooks, which share all of the core learnings, all of the core frameworks, shows you examples of how to apply the frameworks, and to make sure that everything you learn is very easily accessible to you even after the program is over. You're also going to get the Art of Speaking Up Academy cheat sheets. I have 2 cheat sheets that I have created for you so that you have a quick way to reference the core learnings in the Art of Speaking Up Academy. The first cheat sheet is a mindset cheat sheet. This is a quick cheat sheet that will help you if you only have a few minutes before a big meeting and you want to get your confidence on lock. This cheat sheet will guide you through simple steps to help you remember everything that you learned in the program so that you can bring your best mindset and your best presence to that meeting. And you're also going to get the executive communication cheat sheet, which summarizes all of the executive communication tools and frameworks that you learn in the program. These cheat sheets mean that you will have a quick reference guide that you can take with you to work to use day to day when you need to dip in and get help and guidance for that next meeting on your calendar. The Art of Speaking Up Academy also includes a private online community. That community is currently hosted in Slack, and it's a private Slack workspace where it's just you and the women in your cohort. And if you haven't used Slack before, it's kind of like a group chat, private online community. And in that community, you can get encouragement, you can get people's perspectives on any obstacles you're facing. And in the private online community, we have a channel that is dedicated to coaching, which means that if you have something that you need help with in between our sessions, you can just post in the coaching channel inside Slack, and I will be there to personally help you. This means that you will never be alone. No matter what comes up for you during the work week, you will be able to reach out to me. People typically will reach out to me for coaching if they have a big meeting coming up and they want me to help them plan a really effective agenda, or if they have a big meeting coming up and they want me to help them feel as confident as possible before that meeting. It feels really good and it's extremely productive to have expert help and deep support for these situations rather than navigating them alone. And in the Slack workspace, you will be able to lean on me and also the women in your cohort to get as much support as you want. In addition to the private online community, you also get a bonus workshop on persuasion and influence so that you know how to tweak your communication to be more persuasive so that you can get the outcome that you desire, whether you're trying to get buy-in from your stakeholders or you're trying to position yourself as the best candidate for a role that you're interviewing for. So in summary, you get the weekly live sessions taught by me. You will be in a small cohort, which means I will be familiar with you and your specific goals and challenges. You get lifetime access to the curriculum materials. That includes the Art of Speaking Up Academy student-only private podcast, the Art of Speaking Up Academy official workbooks, and the Art of Speaking Up Academy cheat sheets. You will also get the private online community throughout the duration of the program so that you are never alone in between our weekly sessions. And you'll also get the bonus Persuasion and Influence workshop. This is a pre-recorded workshop so you can watch it on demand at your convenience. And all of these resources are included to maximize your success and give you as many tools as possible without overwhelming you. This is very important to me in how I designed the program. I want you to learn and grow a lot without feeling like a lot of information is being thrown at you. All you have to do is show up to the sessions every week, complete a brief, doable homework assignment, and I will take care of the rest and I will guide you through everything that you need to know and do. Like I mentioned at the beginning of this episode, applications are open March 10th through March 17th, and you can apply by going to jessguzikcoaching.com/academy or clicking the link in the show notes. Now, for the rest of this episode, I want to answer some of the most common questions that I get about the Art of Speaking Up Academy. But before I get into that, I'm also going to put my email in the show notes. If you have questions about this program and you're trying to figure out if it's right for you, you can shoot me an email and I will circle back with you and I will let you know if I think it's a fit or not. There are certain situations where the program is genuinely not a fit, and I won't even admit someone into the program if I don't think it's a fit and if I don't think the program is going to meaningfully help them. That is one of the reasons it is by application only, because I want to make sure to learn enough about you to make sure that this program is set up for you to achieve the growth and success you desire. And with that, let's transition into frequently asked questions. So the first one is, what is the time commitment and what will be expected of me inside of this program? So the way that I design the program is I'm trying to balance two things. The time commitment that you put in needs to be enough of a commitment to offer you meaningful change, growth, and transformation. But I don't want it to be so much of a commitment that it overwhelms you and it feels like you can't keep up. So I have really built the program to balance those trade-offs. And what you should expect to commit is, number one, attending the majority of the live sessions. So we meet live 3 times per month. So that's pretty much weekly. We have one break week per month, which is really useful for you to catch up and have a little bit of space and flexibility on your calendar. The sessions are 75 minutes long. I don't expect you to have perfect attendance and attend every single session, but if you're doing the program, you want to be able to be there and be present because that's where the majority of the growth and transformation is going to happen. And there is a weekly homework, but I design the homework to fit around your life. Most of the women who come into the Art of Speaking Up Academy, in fact, probably everyone who comes into the Art of Speaking Up Academy, has a very full and busy life, a full career, a full personal life, a full home and family life. So I designed the homework to try to fit into your busy life. For every week's homework, there is both a workbook reading as well as a private podcast episode. And I do it that way intentionally so that if you are super busy and there are certain weeks where you don't have time to read the workbook, you can just listen to that week's homework in the private podcast feed, and you will come to the session feeling pretty prepared for what it is we're going to talk about. So if you have time to fit podcasts into your weekly schedule, you will be able to fit the program homework into your weekly schedule. And like I said, I do this intentionally because I know that those of you who follow the show and follow my work are ambitious and you have full and busy lives. And I don't want to be piling on a ton of homework onto your already busy schedule. And the homework itself is quite short. So the private podcast episodes that I assign each week, they range from about 8 minutes to maybe the longer ones are between 15 and 20 minutes. They probably average 10 to 15 minutes in length. And the workbook reading is like a few pages. We're talking like 5 pages of reading. So this isn't a huge time commitment. If you're able to show up to the sessions and listen to the private podcast most weeks, that is all you need to experience meaningful transformation inside the Art of Speaking Up Academy. The next question is closely related, which is what if I miss a session? You don't have to have perfect attendance in order for this to be a really valuable growth experience for you. I don't expect that, and that is why I record the sessions every single week. So if you miss a week, you can catch up, you can watch that week's recording, and you also have our private online community. So very often, if someone inside the Art of Speaking Up Academy misses a session, they will share their thoughts and they will share their answers to the exercises that we did in that week's session as they're watching the recording. They'll share their thoughts in the private Slack community. So they'll be like, oh my gosh, I'm watching the recording. This is resonating so much. Here are my thoughts on like this discussion topic that everyone's getting into. So as long as you're able to attend most of the time, you should be fine. And if you ever have a conflict come up, just watch that week's recording and then you'll be able to get right back on the wagon for the following week. The next question is, what is the cohort size? So for me, it's really important that this is both an intimate experience where I can get to know you and you can get focus and attention from me as the coach and facilitator. But I also want the group size to be large enough that you feel like you're a part of something bigger than yourself. You feel energized, you feel supported, you feel like you have this really tight-knit community that has your back and is cheering you on. And for that reason, I cap the cohorts at anywhere between 8 to 10 women. So this is a program where I'm going to know who you are. I'm going to know about your goals. I'm going to know about the specific patterns and obstacles that you are experiencing. But you're also not going to be in it alone. You're going to have the advantage of seeing other women get coached by me, seeing other women encounter obstacles that are similar to the obstacles that you encounter, which is so valuable. Because when we see someone else working through an obstacle that we are facing, it gives us an entirely new perspective on how we can overcome it. Because we get to see it from the outside as more of an outsider. We can be more objective. We can think more critically about it. And that can really help things click within your mind in terms of you feeling clear on how you will overcome that obstacle for yourself. The next question is, what should I expect in the sessions? What will be expected of me / what is the session format? So the session format varies week to week depending on what we are discussing that particular week, but it tends to be a mix of number 1, me teaching concepts, number 2, me facilitating deep mindset exercises and reflective exercises, and number 3, me facilitating what I call speaking exercises, which means there's going to be a mix of you learning and you engaging and interacting. So when I teach on confidence, I don't just talk at you. I share the core learnings, but then you will do an exercise to apply those core learnings so that in real time, you can work on your confidence and grow your confidence through doing that exercise. Similarly, if I teach you an executive communication tool, or I teach you a tip on how to elevate your executive presence, I'm not just going to teach it. You're going to have the opportunity to practice it via the exercises that I facilitate in the program. And not only does that allow you to get familiar with the tools in a safe and judgment-free environment, but also it gives you the opportunity to get feedback from me because I can see how you're applying the tool and I can make tweaks and corrections to help you get even better. And something that's really useful is when I see you doing the exercises, I can also pick up on other patterns that might be useful for you to have an awareness of. And I can start to give you broader guidance and advice on adjustments that you can make that will make you more effective, yet also authentic as a communicator and as a voice in the room. Now, whenever I do anything interactive in the sessions, you always get to opt in. I never call on people. I never force people. I never put you on the spot without your consent. I really like to coach and facilitate in a consent-based way. So if you're going to be participating, if you are going to be speaking in front of the cohort or interacting, you will have consented to that. You will be doing that because you want to do that. And I am very, very understanding that sometimes you might be having an off night. And sometimes you might join the session and you might want to be more of an audience member that week because we all have things going on in our lives, right? Like we get sick, things happen with your family, things get challenging. You might be joining from your office one week. I understand that you have circumstances that might cause you to show up imperfectly. And for me, that is not a problem. All I care about is that you're showing up and that you're giving it 100% of whatever you have on that day. That is truly enough for change to happen. We don't need to be perfect. We don't need to be like these perfect robots who have perfect attendance and who get it right every single time. All we have to do is give it the best of what we have on that day, in that moment, in that particular context. And that's really all I expect of you. I don't want this to be like a high pressure experience. And I often share this with my academy clients in the first session. This is not a work meeting. I am not your boss. I am not here to punish you or discipline you or police you. I am here to support you, to make you feel like there's someone who has your back, who is encouraging you, who is fighting for your success, which means if you need to show up a little bit imperfectly one week, that is not a problem. Okay. Next question. Is the Art of Speaking Up Academy open to all levels? I do not filter this program by level because what I have found is that the goals and obstacles that people come into this program with are exactly the same at all levels. Because in the end of the day, whether you're earlier in your career, middle of your career, or later in your career, struggling with confidence internally feels very, very similar regardless of the context. And wanting to express yourself clearly and powerfully is a similar goal regardless of the context. And through running this program now 10 times, I've run 10 cohorts of the Art of Speaking Up Academy, I have kept on the lookout for this question. And as a business owner and facilitator, thought to myself, would it benefit my clients if I did have groups or cohorts that were split based on level and based on where people are at in their career? And I actually think that would make the program less rich, less interesting, because the discussions and the exchanges that we're able to have when we have women who are at different places in their career are so empowering. So regardless of where you're at in your career, you will be welcome in this space. And the tools that I teach, the executive communication tools that I teach, are appropriate for the highest levels of leadership. So if you're earlier in your career, the tools that I teach you are going to serve you as you get into higher levels of executive leadership. I'm helping you make your communication the best of the best. So everything I teach is going to be useful and valuable even at higher levels within an organization. And I just personally, as a coach, I don't like to narrow in on the level of client and professional that I work with, both in my groups and in my one-on-one. I have supported people who are very senior, very high up in an organization, and I have supported people who are much newer. And for me, what I'm more interested in is, what is your internal experience? What are those internal demons you're trying to overcome? And what is that deeper strength that you're trying to build within yourself? To me, that's the filter, right? Like, I'm filtering for who are the people out there who feel like they have more inside them and who want to access that and who want to find that strength and that resilience and that really strong leadership voice. And I've just found that that is present at all levels of seniority. So the next question is, will I get feedback from you? Yes, 100%. Like I mentioned in one of the earlier questions, anytime I teach a tool, you get to practice it. I will never teach a tool without giving you the opportunity to practice it, typically multiple times, so that you can get really good at it. So when you practice, one of the things I'm looking out for is, one, are you applying the tool correctly? And are there any tweaks or adjustments that I can offer that are going to make you more effective? And number two, I'm just looking for broader patterns that I might pick up on that might help me give you deeper guidance even beyond the tool that I'm teaching. So for example, sometimes when I'm with my clients and we're working on executive communication and they're doing the exercises, I can tell based on the way that they're doing the exercises that stepping into the leadership role feels newer or more uncomfortable to them. And they're used to being someone who is there to help and who is there to bring answers, but they're not used to being the leader in the room. There are certain tendencies that I can pick up on that indicate to me that that might be the case. And so if I notice that, then I can lovingly and in a very supportive way point that out, and we can start to think and work together on a plan to help build your comfort in stepping into the spotlight and being a leader in the room. So you will get tons of feedback from me. And if you ever want even more feedback than what you're getting from me in the sessions, you can always ping me in our online community. We have a private Slack community, and in there, we have a channel that is exclusively dedicated to coaching requests. So at any time in between our sessions, you can share a message there, and I will be there daily to help you and give you advice and coach you through it. Okay, the next question, also closely related, is, will you get coached by me in the program? Yes, absolutely. Through the live sessions, we're going to be interacting a lot. You're going to be participating. You're going to be doing the exercises. You're going to be sharing your thoughts and perspectives. And as you do that, I'm going to be offering you guidance in the live sessions. I'm going to be interacting with you in the live sessions. It's not just me talking at the entire group. There is some of that, but a lot of the time in the live sessions is spent with you interacting and practicing the tools and me offering that feedback, that guidance, that broader coaching. And like I mentioned, in our online community, I think this is such a valuable thing that I include in the program. But you can drop a message anytime you need it, anytime you have a question, and I will help you out and we will work through it together. So yes, you will definitely get coached by me. The next question is, can my employer pay for this program? Yes, and I have seen people have an excellent success rate in terms of asking their employer to cover the full tuition for the Art of Speaking Up Academy. If this is something you're interested in doing, I have a couple of ways I can help you. Number one, I have an employer-facing description of the program. And if you email me, jessica@theartofspeakingup.com, I will send you that document. That's a great document to send to your boss or to send to leadership or HR at your company to help them understand what the program is and how it will benefit them as your employer. And number two, if you want some advice and guidance from me on how to ask your employer to fund this in a way that maximizes the odds that they say yes, you can reach out to me at jessica@theartofspeakingup.com and I can help you navigate that. I coach professionals for a living, so all day long I'm helping people make asks and communicate effectively and be persuasive. And so I'm the perfect person to help you figure out how to do that. And one thing that I just want to share on this is I know that it can feel quite scary for some people to ask your employer to pay for this. And I know it can sometimes feel like, oh, if I ask my employer to pay for this program, am I admitting that I'm not a good employee? Am I admitting that I'm struggling with confidence? Am I admitting that I need help and I have gaps in certain areas? And I understand that, but I don't think that's true. And when I'm helping someone ask their employer to fund the program, I never suggest that you go to your employer and say, I feel like I have a lot of deficiencies. Will you pay for me to take this program that is going to help me? I like framing it as I want to enhance my skills as a leader. I want to tighten up my executive communication. I really want to elevate my thought leadership. And I found a program that will help me with both of those things. And I was wondering if you'd be open to having a conversation about the company potentially sponsoring me in taking the program. So you can ask your employer to support you in a way that makes you look very good and in a way that makes you look like you care about the work that you do at the company. And that is why you want to invest in up-leveling your skill set. It is very, very common for leaders and employees to get their employer to support them in doing professional development work that helps them enhance their skills. And if this brings you any comfort at all, my most executive clients, the ones who are highest up within an organization, they're rarely the ones paying for their coaching. So if the CEO of your company has a coach or is working with someone or is doing some kind of leadership development, they're not paying for it out of their pocket. It's very normal at super high levels of leadership that the company is paying for this. So it's almost like you're stepping up as a leader in a way. And I don't think it's something to be embarrassed about or ashamed of at all. Okay, the next question is, help, this feels scary. How do I know if this is the right next step for me? So I think it's really normal for it to feel scary when we are going for our goals, because before you join a program like this, the stakes are lower. You haven't yet committed more deeply to building the confidence that you want to build. So it's almost like you have less to lose. And then the minute you say yes to a program like this, there are stakes because now you've basically said to yourself, I think this is possible. And I have enough belief that this is possible that I'm actually willing to go out and make a big decision and take a big step forward. And while that's exciting, also, the minute that we decide we believe something is possible and we go after it, now all of a sudden there's stakes because what if we don't succeed? What if it doesn't happen? It creates a new layer of uncertainty. This is really, really normal. And if you're experiencing fear, I think number one, it's important to ask yourself, am I afraid because this isn't something that I want and I'm going against my intuition and I'm doing something that I don't want to do? If that's where the fear is coming from, then that's probably a sign that this isn't the right next step for you. But if the fear is because you do want it, you want the change, you want the growth, this is deeply important to you, then that fear is actually a sign that you're moving in the right direction, because that fear is coming up and communicating to you like, hey, this is important to me. Like, please don't mess this up. And you might have that fear in the back of your mind that you're going to mess this up. And one thing that I would just want to say, if you have that fear, is that if you give this your full heart and your full self, you can't mess this up. You can't mess up growth. I just don't believe that that's possible. If you're willing to show up, if you are willing to engage in the sessions, if you are willing to get back into the rhythm of it, if you ever miss a week, then you will experience growth in this program. One of the things that really sets you up for success is that it is curriculum-based and everything is laid out for you. So you are no longer going to be figuring things out. You're no longer going to be thinking like, well, what am I supposed to learn next? What am I supposed to do next? What is the next step? That's all going to be laid out ahead of you. And all you have to do is put one foot in front of the other and follow that process. Okay, final question. The last question is, I'm not necessarily focused right now on moving into an executive role. Is this still the right program for me? So a lot of people come into the program because they are ready to up-level. They want to prepare themselves for a bigger leadership role, or maybe they just got promoted into a bigger leadership role and they really want to make sure they have the skill set to succeed in the role. But even if you're not at that particular juncture in your career, as long as you're at a place where you want to have greater impact, you want to be more effective, you want to be a more powerful voice in the room, you want to know how to lead people in the room, if those are your goals, then the experience that you have inside the program, the tools and the resources that I offer you are going to be a really strong fit for the growth that you are looking for. Okay, so that brings me to the end of the FAQs and to the end of this bonus episode. And as a reminder, applications are open from March 10th through March 17th, and you can find the application by clicking the link in the show notes or going to jessguzikcoaching.com/academy. In the show notes, I'm going to put that link for you. I'm going to put my email address in case you'd like to reach out to me. I'm also going to put a link to the program curriculum in case you want to browse the curriculum in more depth. And if you have questions, if there's something that you want to know, if you want to connect with me briefly before deciding whether you want to apply for the program, please reach out to me. I am super friendly and I will get back to you and I will help you out with whatever is coming up. I am so freaking excited to get to read your application. I love reading people's applications because in the application, I'm going to ask you to start dreaming. I'm going to ask you to start dreaming about the change you want to achieve, about what you want your life and your career to look like at the end of the Art of Speaking Up Academy, what you want your reality to be 6 months from now. And I love getting a glimpse into the future that you want to create and into your vision for that elevated, more confident, powerful version of you. So I am so excited to read your application. I will drop everything in the show notes. Thank you so much for being here. And also, I will catch you in this week's regular episode. Have an amazing day, and we'll talk soon. Bye.